You might be a king or a little street sweeper, but sooner or later you dance with the Reaper.
Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG Build Guide Edition. Today I'm ready to drop on you my third iteration crit Lich, and this one is different. It is a super crit Lich because we are using the new super crit primordial amulet. Over 900 corruption, beautiful to play, great clear speed. This one is a lot of fun. Now in all my intros now I am explaining to people that this is built online. So if you want to look at my VODs, this build is built with the community live on stream, and all gameplay you see is online. There is no offline client editor used, so you could trust all the information. As always, I will show you every single facet of the build. Everything is timestamped in the description below if you need to bounce around. Let's not waste any time and jump right into this. Starting off with some gameplay. What you're looking at right now is 912 corruption, super crit Lich. Those orange damage numbers are the new deadly strikes. Super crit from the True Sight Primordial Amulet. Now, what I want to start with is a little bit of a story. So, I've been live on Air and Action RPG on Twitch, and everybody's been asking, are you going to play Lich, are you going to play Flay, are you going to try out the new skill? So, we finished a couple of builds, and it's like, all right, now let's try out Flay. And people were asking what I was going to make. And I said, all right, I'm going to make a cold Lich. And they're like, no, no, no. Don't play cold. Everybody's playing cold. The meta is cold. I'm like, okay, no cold. And I was like, all right, what about bleed? And they're like, no, if there's one thing everybody's playing that isn't cold, it's bleed. And I'm like, okay, how about necrotic? And everyone's like, oh yeah, necrotic is basically unplayable. And I'm like, okay, necrotic dot? No, you can't play dot. So I was like, okay, necrotic crit Lich. And they said, yeah, that build's unplayable. So this started off as a meme, and after 3 full days of testing, this is what we have come up with. 912 corruption, necrotic crit Lich. You hit Flay, harvest is fully automated, and you only manually hit harvest when you need to generate mana. Stay in Reaper form every single run. The main thing you are dealing is managing your mana. And damage is great. Clear speed is great. And it is beautiful to play. I mean, clear speed is crazy. It's just, I don't know. I really, really like how this ended up. 912 corruption, Emperor of Corpses. Show you a little boss fight. And again, anytime you need mana, you manually hit harvest to trigger Great Harvest and regenerate mana. Ooh, that was close. We might have been able to kill him there. Dead. Emperor of Corpses, 912 corruption. Harbinger. In a terrible position. Look at those orange damage numbers. Will you just die? Thank you. And of course, the Aberoth kill. Now for actual playing, very easy. You hit with Flay. Flay's gonna drop a bolt. Bolt's gonna automate harvest. The only time you hit harvest is when you need to generate mana. And then we use Death Seal. You actually have a free 5th skill, whatever your favorite is. I picked Death Seal after doing lots of testing. It gives you guaranteed 10 necrotic shred on the target and gives you added survivability. But the build is very smooth, very easy, can push super high. I didn't even mention I'm only level 95. Like, like we have not min-maxed the build in almost any way. But it is very strong. Let me show you how to recreate this build. Now, what we're going to start with is gear. I really want to talk about this new amulet. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the blessings, idols, and items, starting with blessings. And just know my blessings, I continue to switch them out, and they're kind of a little unorthodox. But what I'm using, Void Res, Armor, Physical Res, and Lightning Res. Now, this idol is almost always, all resistance, critical strike avoidance, maybe necrotic res. We didn't need any of that, so I actually took necrotic damage. Again, when it comes to your blessings, Pick the ones based upon your gear, but this is currently the setup that I am running, so I'm going to showcase that. When it comes to idols, we are using double health idols, and then resistance and increased health. Okay, pretty standard. When it comes to gear, we are using the brand new Primordial True Sight Glass. Critical strikes above 100% give you a chance to deal a deadly strike up to a 40% chance. Deadly strikes count as critical strikes and have a 300% critical strike multiplier. So during the gameplay, those orange attacks is deadly strikes. We call it super crit. But ultimately, this is what the entire build is around. And this item is absolutely required for it to function. We are stacking dexterity on this build. So on here, we have Bone Clamor, and it gives you ward. We are using Siphon of Anguish and Shattered Chains for the Doom stacking and multiplicative damage. We're using the new Army of Skin, movement speed, attack speed, multiplicative damage. For mana regen, we're using Pride. Mana took me a long time to figure out on this build. And basically, if you are fine with your mana, this item is not required. You could use any body armor you want. But what makes this body armor special is 1% increased mana regen per 2% uncapped lightning resistance. So it's just a way to really help you with your mana regen. You stack lightning res. For weapons, we are using Tongue in the Offhand for the base critical strike chance. Again, super crit. And then we are using the new Executioner's Axe. This also has base critical strike. It has necrotic melee damage on it. And when you use Harvest, like manually attack with Harvest, it helps you maintain mana. This item is crucial. This item is crucial. Now, the other three items, we have the Ocean Ring, Chill, Shock, multiplicative damage, and damage reduction. And then I have both Weaver's items. So the Weaver gloves are multiplicative damage, attack speed attributes, and the relic is endurance, 1 to skills, and extra ward. Know that these three items, as you progress, can be switched out for better stuff. Obviously, Ocean Ring can turn into Red Ring. The relic can turn into Shattered Worlds, the Uber drop, and the gloves can turn into the Immortal Gloves, which is also an Uber drop. So if you had this gear setup and those three items, I mean, you are over 1,000 corruption for sure. So now let's break down the skills, starting with our Reaper form, and I'll try to show you what nodes you want to take first. Now, what you want to do is you want to come up first and get Soul for Souls, Reaper's Curse, and Rapid Destruction. This is going to give you a total of 180% increased damage, 100% critical strike chance, and 24% attack speed. You're then going to come down and you're going to take base necrotic damage, critical strike multiplier, and then you want to put 1 point into Unholy Dominion, which is going to allow you to use Transplant and Reap basically at the same time, so you have 2 traversal skills. It is very, very nice quality of life. Not required, but it's nice to have. Moving over to our new skill, our new damage dealer, and this is Reap. First thing you want to do is you actually want to come down and snag this node right here, Chaos Rip. This allows your Flay to automate Chaos Bolts, and Chaos Bolts are what we're going to use to make Harvest. You're then going to come up here and you're actually going to turn it in from a physical to a necrotic skill. Necrotic, super crit Lich. You're going to boost the multiplicative damage and bring down the mana cost. You're going to boost the attack speed because we are using a dagger. You're going to come over here and take more multiplicative damage with chill chance. And you want to take corrosive slash. Now, this is really for cold skills, but what it also does is basically shed armor. So we don't care about what it does for cold. What we care about is reducing enemies' armor. You're then going to come down here and get Prince of Pain. You're going to take melee multiplicative damage and cool down for your Reaper form, which you could cool it down by 6 seconds. And then last 4 points are going to go into Offering, where you can get up to another 48 base damage for the cost of your life, but you have so much leech it doesn't matter. Now, I want to point out one node on this tree, and that is right here. Go for the Throat. This is base critical strike chance. If you are struggling at all to get to that 140% critical strike chance, take this node. You can take 2 points from anywhere. Take this node, okay? I currently did not need added base critical strike chance, but if you do, I'm going to say it a third time, take this node. Moving over to Harvest. Harvest, what you want to do is you want to come over to the left, get multiplicative damage, base crit, and critical strike multiplier. This also has global critical strike chance of another 100%. Like I said, it's pretty easy to hit your base crit. You're going to come over here and take more multiplicative damage with kill threshold, and then you're going to take more multiplicative damage based upon ailment on the target, and we took 100% poison chance and bleed chance. So that's where those ailments are going to come from. Again, if you need more base critical strike chance, you could pull 1 point out and put it right here because Harvest has a base 9% in it, which is pretty crazy. Moving over to Chaos Bolts. So again, your Harvest is getting its poison and bleed right here. Chaos Bolts are going to provide the ignite and the damned. And what we like about Chaos Bolts is this. Very, very simple. This node, Reaper of Mayhem. Chaos Bolts hit have a chance per dexterity to cause you to attack with Harvest. So we are stacking dexterity for this build. Flay and Harvest both stack with dex, and this node is going to automate dex based upon how much you have, which is all the time. It's also going to give you back some mana. It's going to automate Bone Curse. And again, it's going to give you your damned chance and ignite. So you hit with Flay. Flay drops a Chaos Bolt. Chaos Bolt generates a Harvest. So it is automated while you are in Reaper form. So you really don't have to do anything. It's so nice. It plays so well. Now, the fifth skill. Like I said on a previous build, the fifth skill is yours to choose. All right. For a long time, we were using Wandering Spirits. We tested with Aura of Decay. We tested with Transplant. Transplant's a really good skill because it also has mana on it. The fifth skills is yours to pick. Now, I ended up on Death Seal, and I continue to switch it in and out. This is your choice. The reason why I like Death Seal is it gives you some survivability with armor, but more importantly, it takes care of all your necrotic resistant shred. But normally Death Seal, you want to seal your life here and activate it, and there's a lot of bonuses. I'm just using it right now for the necrotic shred, which is really important, by the way, but that is how we are using Death Seal. You can make the Wave of Death on Reap or Evade. It's going to be proccing every second. It's going to give you survivability, and it's going to take care of your necrotic shred. If you are, though, struggling with mana at all, Wandering Spirits, you can come up here and take this node, Infusing Souls, and basically use Wandering Spirits as a battery, and then come over here and also get Necrotic Shred. This is what we did for probably 80% of the time before I switched. Both great options. The fifth skill is yours to choose. So now let's break down the passive, starting with the base Acolyte tree. We have taken Int and Necrotic Resistance, we've taken some Vitality, and then over here we've taken Ward Retention and Resistances. Now, I like Vitality because it's going to boost your Necrotic Res as well, and we're using Necrotic Res to build Ward, but if you are stacking Armor, you could go into Bone Aura as well. This one, it doesn't really matter, whatever you prefer. Nothing in Necromancer. When we move over to Warlock, we are taking Mana Regen, added mana with Intelligence, and then again, Ward Decay Threshold and Ward Decay based upon your Necrotic Resistance. We are not a low life build, but we do still want Ward, and this does help us. Also, you need 5 points in this tree to unlock Chaos Bolts. Moving over to Lich, I can't even tell you how many times I changed this tree over the 3 days of testing on stream. We are taking Mana Regen. Mana Regen increases armor. We are come down here, boosting dexterity and melee damage. We're taking ward per second and resistances. We are taking dodge rating. Since we're stacking so much dex and we do have a decent amount of intelligence and some vitality, dodge is also a nice little added survivability mechanic. We have taken mana and ward. This is just to get us to this level. Necrotic penetration, health, delayed damage, extra life, less damage over time, and damage bypasses ward, being able to dual wield, critical strike chance, necrotic base melee damage, movement speed, multiplicative damage, critical strike multiplier, attack speed, and dex and melee critical strike chance. So I know from what I'm being told, a lot of people are playing cold, a lot of people are playing bleed, and most people are playing low life. This build is so opposite of whatever those other builds are. We are leeching, full life, no low life, no dot, no cold, no bleed, necrotic, super crit Lich. All right, everybody, that's the build guide. What do you think of my new super crit Lich? Is there anything I missed? Is there anything I could do to take this to the next level? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Of course, only if you think I've earned it. If I haven't earned it, I'm going to work harder for you. Check out my new website, actionrpg.com. It's still in its alpha beta phase, but we're now working with APIs. We have 3 games fully up and running. We've got an event calendar. We've got news. We're bringing on new writers and creators. The website is developing very, very nicely. I'm very excited for the future. Don't forget to check out actionrpg.com. I'm done. Hopefully you were entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.